I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the date done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Good morning, and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Maddins, man. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing fine. It is the day that the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. How great is our God, and greatly to be praised. Indeed, the heavens declare his glory, and the firmaments show forth his handiworks. All right, in everything, we give thanks because this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning us. Yes, indeed, we are blessed indeed. Welcome to the platform. If this is your first time joining us on I Am Sure Sports, listen, you have to do this for me, right? You have to hit the like button, you have to subscribe, and you have to share, and just get that out of the way early. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and do that right now. We have loads of good stuff coming up in this show, and we want you to be a part of it. I encourage you all to be respectful to others in your labeling of people and in how you speak or communicate with them, right? You show the host respect, you show the other commenters respect, even if you disagree with a particular opinion that they may have that may be different from yours. All right, we have to do that. We have to show respect to one another. Let us create a new pathway going forward as we seek to restore some level of decency, all right, through sports to this beautiful country, Jamaica, right? Beautiful island, beautiful home for so many of us. And we need to make sure that we begin, like I said, to create a new pathway going forward where respect and love and just peace and that kind of thing is the practice of our daily interaction. All right. As usual, I want to make sure that I share something with you that will inspire and encourage you. All right. So I have this book called Winning with Wisdom, my little devotional thought that I'm going to share. Then we're going to get into the content. You're not allowed to call in until the first 30 minutes of the show has elapsed, and then you can call in and share your thoughts and your opinions. All right. So this says attitude and perspective. All right. And there's a couple of scriptures. One is from Psalm 69, verse 30. It says, I'll praise the name of God with a song and will magnify him with thanksgiving. Then Psalm 118, verse 24 says this. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And then the thought is develop an uncommonly good attitude. Develop an uncommonly good attitude. Your attitude is an outward reflection of your inward thoughts. You can hide your thoughts, but you can't hide your attitude. All right? All right. People meet your attitude before they meet you. There are two kinds of people in life. Those who let their environment influence their enthusiasm, and those who let their enthusiasm influence their environment. Tired eyes never see a bright future. All right? All right, you're one good night sleep away from a new perspective. All right, let me go a little further. Difficulty is inevitable. Misery is optional. It is not happy people who are thankful. It is thankful people who are happy. Write this down. Comparison is the thief of joy. Thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy, and complainers are not obtainers. Come on, somebody. I feel like preaching. Complainers are not obtainers. It is a choice to rejoice. Come on, somebody. Talk to me. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. All right, so now that we have done that, what a word to encourage you. Big up everyone in the comment section. Man like Jew, a.k.a. Jew Ross from KC. KC athletes moving to different country. I don't know what's going on with those KC athletes, you know. All right. English, bless up my general. Jason, the Calabar man. You know, Calabar athletes stay strong. They stick to the motherland of Jamaica, no matter what the difficulties may be. You understand me? Tennessee. Tennessee, a long time I don't see Tennessee or hear from Tennessee. You know, good to see you, my brother. Nitro 69, the man that always asks the tough questions of man in this man, you know. You understand me? Blessed love. All right. Yeah. Danny Dread. Yeah, man, if you want to know who's not afraid to challenge Oral Tracy, you know, check the Dread. Danny Dread. Soul J. Yo, Soul J. Big up yourself, you know, Soul J. Soul J. Yeah, man, met Soul J in England, you know. Yeah, man, so they want to bring me way up to Oxford from London. People are around 4 hours, 2 and 4 hours back. 8 hours, one whole day's work. Soldier the one for just show me a look of plot of work where I'm doing, you know. Big up yourself, you know. Real General Soldier. All right. Peter Mystic. You understand me? Flowing through the year. And if you listen carefully, you will hear. Know yourself. You see, with a name like that, you need to know yourself. You can't have a name like that. And sometimes, me see you go on like you want. Pressure Mannings, man. You have to know yourself. All right? Mannings, man. What is the name of the Lord and who is he? All right? You said that discussion now, know yourself, would take this entire show. All right? But what you can do is tell me what you believe about who the Lord is. And then I can confirm or I can state. Because if I were to get into it, it would be for you alone who is asking the question. Or if you can, we can have a 30-minute religious discussion on some of these things that are not based on men's opinion, but based on everlasting truth. You understand me? Oh, then, Lord, bless up yourself. All right? Well, again, yeah. Nitro, you see why you're getting a problem? Person not even at the comment section. And you see you start call up the man name already. That is why you're always getting problems in the Nitro. Person not even, I don't even see person in the comment section. And the second comment you make, you put up person name. You know when person come in now, you and him gone a war. You see, this is a problem with him. No, lad, if you extend it around here, you understand me? The girls, them, _girls_them_stick. Big up yourself. Him said, great thing. Who's stealing players now? We're going to get into that. Christopher Carroll, my brother, blessed love. Grace and peace be unto you every time. And Balakar, big coach. Many places wanting Balakar to come in and coach them team, You understand me? Yeah, Balakar, make sure you get some money. If you're paying to get the license Balakar and people want you to coach, they must give you some money, Balakar. Maybe not a lot, because you want to help the community. But make some money drop in your hand. Because if them they'd go to the big coaches across Jamaica, they would have to find money to pay them. Let them find money to pay you. You understand me, Balakar? All right? And a live show can't answer you right now. Yeah. Hold on a sec. We just bam. Hold on a sec. All right. Yeah. Best of documentary. Yo, brother, we've been talking a long time, man. Yeah, man. Sanjay Brooks, big up yourself. You understand me? Soldier say my who this? J any weather sports. Big up yourself. Uptown. And that UPT stand for Uptown. Big up yourself. When there's something needs to go on. See it, Yeah, we're gonna do that. Entire show or day. All right, there you go. You understand the thing? Oh, you need my easiest breakdown. Uptown in the building. Dr. Dan. People listening on the job, big up Dr. Dan. I met Dr. Dan in San Jose, Dr. Dan, good youth, Yeah, man. He and his wife to be are both doctors, you understand me? Yeah, and it's amazing sometimes when you're on these trips, how you just meet. And almost every time the team has gone into the States, we meet people who are on YouTube. And we have to big up YouTube, You see, this platform, a lot of negatives are on it, but there's a lot of positive and good things that has happened in the football because of YouTube. When I think about even my involvement in the JFF, not football, but at the JFF level, a lot of it is because of persons in YouTube or on YouTube who encourage that. Dr. Dan is one of the many people who we have met and interacted with as a team that, there are these moments that you need help in a particular area, and bam, there somebody turns up and they're able to help you. So Dr. Dan was able to, to help us in so many small ways at the Gold Cup. I have to give him a big up, you understand me? Yeah, man, and many others, but he's in the chat now as well, so you have to do that, you understand me? Management, what does the Bible say about multiple wives asking for a friend? Duckland, you have one wife already. Just what would I tell you? Say, stick to the one where you have. All right. Nobody try multiple Duckland. No work. Duckland, you're a man of God. Yeah. Yeah, Demo. People, this morning. All right, Duckland. One white. Adam and Eve, one. That was before everything in life is before the fall of men. And what you saw before the fall of men is what God wants. That is God's perfect divine will. One man to one woman in marriage. Argument done. All right. Demo, you know, I was watching Dark Sport and somebody sent in a message or called in to give something and they said, Demo. I said, hold on, I wonder if a Demo and them just mispronounce his name, Darren Bent. And he said, oh, this is from Demo. I wonder if a Demo, you know. George Preston, not Simon Preston, Blego. Paul Watkins, up and running. Gaza forever. Oh, no, man. Danny up and working. You know, so we can always call Danny and let him give us an update. I think Phoenix is in the Division 1 in St. Anne. They played a game and they used some of their Premier League players and they lost the points. They lost the points of that game because they used some of the Premier League players and it's a different team than the Veer team. But I think subsequent to that, they have won 2 games. So they are in it. I think they're using some different set of players. I don't know, but Division 1 are going down there. Danny, I do him thing, man. Ball pre-TV. Yeah, man. At work listening. Triple E, not Triple V. Gaza forever. All right. A team use an entire JPL team and nothing done. No, man, they lost the points, man. Yeah. Man is how many wives David and Solomon? But let me say this. People, why we always use these false equivalent? So, not because one person has multiple. Didn't Solomon tell you, boss, that it was his many wives and concubines that led him to the state that he was? David talked about that as well. In fact, the Bible said that, listen, boss, if you wanted more wives, David, I could have. So the point is not because other people did it, mean that it is God's ideal, boss. Where we get them things from? Oh, no, come on, man. Don't let me have church up in here. Who say me I ignore them texts? Yeah, guys, I just answer you, I not ignore you. Didn't the first game that they played, all right, me go interview Danny Beckford. Me call him and ask him about this because I know many people are calling me when I was at the Gold Cup about this, about Premier League players playing in Division 1 in St. Anne. After that, I realized that they were stubborn to a meeting. They lost the points. I think I also heard that the second game, more Premier League players would have played, which means they are supposed to lose the points of the second game if the rules are the rules. So, but we'll talk to Danny Beckford on the matter. Midnight Cowboy, Peso has arrived. Problem. All would have called him on name. You understand me? Here, man, who are the players? I was not, guys, I was not in Jamaica. How am I going to tell you that? I just heard something. Yeah, try. Listen, people, you have to listen to me before you ask the thing. I was not in Jamaica. I was not on the game. I can't tell you. So if you have the information, guys, I just call in because you obviously you know. You know. So why the people who know this stuff don't want to come and talk, but you want other people? Call. When the time is, call out the names of the players who need to get banned. Don't ask me to report on something that I don't have information from. Come on, man, Gaza. Yeah. All right. I think I've healed up everybody. Balotelli, bless, and Marvin Ferran. All right. All right. I am here now. All right, people. We see religious hard talk. We have got religious hard talk. Me and Coach Minzy, me and Pastor Minzy, I got religious hard talking. Right, Pastor Minzy? We'll call it the pastor's desk. Not dear pastor, the pastor's desk. You can call in me and Coach Minzy. We are thinking about adding Demo to it, you know. Andre, you know, because they man, they are and Brian, you know. People, let me tell you all of the people them who are serious Christian are involved in them church. Brian Mighton, every Sunday them man, they have to go church. All right? Brian. So no make them fool. Know yourself a Christian too. Baptized, Holy Ghost filled. Demo. All right? Duckland was, but me understand say him, the wife business making backslide. I really know how true it is. All right? Yeah, I said Christian boss, you're not a pastor. You don't have the position, but you understand me? Yeah. But Issa Allen, yeah, Issa Allen. The pastor's pulpit. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that there. Bobby Frank, you see it? All of the Christians in hiding now. Them a run out. Jesus. All right. So done with all of that. So people, since I've been back, I've been out on the streets and a lot of people disappointed, as you know, with the Gold Cup performance of the team. And they're saying that there needs to be some drastic changes. And some said they agreed with the coach's sentiment at the end of the tournament. They agree with the coach's sentiment about just changing players and all of those kinds of a thing, right? Yeah. So that is something that, like I said, that people are talking about the coach just putting pressure on the players to perform. And so some of the people that I've interacted with, around 60 to 70%, and except for a few names that came up, the 11 names, and this is under the assumption, let me just give you that, excuse me, everybody is fit and all the persons were available from, so we had this big pool. Of course, we know Pastor Keith. We can be a part of Church on the Rock and don't know Pastor Keith. From a big pool of players, around 70 names. So they were supposed to go through and check, like, from the defenders, from the goalkeepers, midfielders, and stuff. So that included 60-man provisional list. And you had, like, you know, your Ravels and all of those persons who were not in it were also added to it. And so people kind of, like I said, they picked an 11, not me. Of the 70 people, I'd say close to 50 of them had the exact 11 or one variation in it. And some probably had two. But like the goalkeeper was consistent and the wingers were consistent and the CDM was consistent in it. All right? All right. So I am going to show you that for you to see the names, and then you can rate and talk about who you think should be out and stuff. And of course, I took it upon myself to talk to some of the persons. I wish I could play the videos and things to say to them, like, so what would be a reason of selecting this person over this person? And so maybe based on your calls and your responses, I can talk to that. All right. So I am going to do that shortly. All right. The other thing I want to speak about is a new move, because this is not going to be long. So let me get to that, and let me get to the shorter stuff first, and then you can then call in. So Mount Pleasant is restructuring their whole academy. And people are acting like this is not a common thing across the world, the footballing world, where academies get to a place at the end of season where they release players from their academy. All right? It's part of football academy structuring and functioning. you phase out players because you may not believe they are going to be good enough to fit into what you have going ahead. So what Mount Pleasant is doing is finding elite players and then releasing the other players. Now, some people are complaining, and I see nothing absolutely wrong with what Mount Pleasant is doing, because they are doing it before September. So those who can go back to school or want to go back to school can go back to school. They have enough time to get back in school. Now, you're at an academy. Therefore, you can still go to school. And if you're not allowed to play schoolboy football, then you can join a Harborview club or a Arnett Gardens club, and you can play football outside of school. Football in Jamaica is not only played in school, it is played outside of school. So this idea like there is some serious injustice being done by Mount Pleasant to the players, it's a false narrative of people who were milking the Mount Pleasant system, and now that the cow is not, releasing any more milk, they are upset. Parents must understand that when these decisions are made, the club has to do these things. So I think what Mount Pleasant is doing is what is in the best interest of their academy. Parents need to make those decisions for their kids. And that is why when the athletes in Jamaica decided they're going to represent the next country because they don't believe that Jamaica is providing them with the necessary finances and they need monies to take care of their families, I cannot fight them. Because loyalty without financing will make you a broke person. You can't be so loyal to your nation that you don't seek a financial way out for you and your family. Players must do that. Parents must look at those things for their children. And Mount Pleasant have all right to do that. So the persons who are, speaking as if this is such a wrong thing that Mount Cavaliers release players. There are players who have gone to Cavaliers that after a while they said they don't want them anymore. Harborview does it. Arnett does it. Schools do it. There are schools that have brought in kids in their quota system, and after a few years, they say, listen, you're not going to make our Manning Cup or the Costa Cup team or a track and field team. And those kids are actually sent from the school so that they can create space in the school or in the dorms for other kids. Absolutely nothing is wrong. It's the normal way of football. It happens in the States. It happens all across Europe. All right? So let me just put that to rest. Coach Theodore Whitmore, big up. And people, do you know, let me just say this, right? Because, Mount Pleasant is a team that I support because I'm in St. Anne. All right? So I don't care if people want to be upset. I support them because I'm here. If Reno were in the Premier League, I would want Reno to do well because I grew up as a youth supporting Reno. Constant Spring is a team that I support as well. If Constant Spring is in the Premier League and they're playing, I am going to support them. That's just how I am. And if you don't want to like me for that's trivial, man. If you're going to be unhappy with me because of that, then we are just acquaintances. We can't be friends if those trivial matters are going to create any sort of vibe or tension between us. All right? So Coach Whitmore is someone I respect because of his accomplishment as a footballer. Because I knew him from a child, and I've seen how he has grown and progressed. I've also seen how he has grown as a coach, and I've seen how he has grown as a person. So I have a lot of respect for him. I like when people they elevate themselves from the lowest point in life, and it's not often that you see a person who was raised in difficult circumstances, probably wasn't afforded the highest level of education, and propel themselves to becoming millionaires in life. right, and have great accomplishment on the sporting field, and they're highly respected across the world. Theodore Whitmore is one of those persons, and for that, I respect him a whole lot. It doesn't mean that he needs to respect me, because I don't respect you so that you can respect me. I respect you because as a person, I may see something that I admire, maybe an accomplishment or just a character trait. And it doesn't mean that it has to be reciprocated. It doesn't have to. And I would still have great respect for you. That's just how I am as a person. All right? So when I talk about Whitmore, I talk in that context. Hey, Coach Whitmore, but me have talked to you right now. Don't allow anyone to outsmart you, to believe that both of you are together in anything. And try to use your influence in certain spaces to create a narrative for their own personal benefit. Somebody need to send this clip to him. All right? All right. That's bam. The other thing I want you to know is that within your setup, not your technical setup, but within your setup, you need to do some sit down and interrogation of persons who are in your present setup, not your technical stuff, and find out what they think of you as the leader. I say that because where there is no respect of the person, there's going to be undermining of the person. It is full time now that you challenge those in your group, the large group, to be in this because they believe in the vision you have for the program that is before you and not just for the money. Leave that alone. All right. So let me go to a different thing now, and then we're going to get back to the starting 11 thing. What 2 hours the show y'all last? All right. Now, you see this thing about people are still playing, not stealing player business. A good example of this is I used to run an academy. I have some pictures that, I used to get them, working with just groups in the States. I brought down a lot of shorts, tops, socks, all of those things. I used to give them everything free. Footballs, everything, bib juice, everything, their own water bottles, everything I used to do. All right. Bam, Mount Pleasant comes in. And a large majority of the ones who were from St. Anne ended up just because of their parents going to Mount Pleasant. And I did not benefit in any way, shape, or form. At the point, I felt like, boy, the man them come take with my players then. But at the end of the day, the truth is the players are not mine. People need to understand that, own people pick me. So, if a man have his son here for 1 year and he want to move them, go somewhere else, it's his son. It's his daughter. They don't belong to you. Too often we make this claim like, man, come steal my player. Right? Nobody not stealing. Nobody. The people them pick me belong to the people them. And a parent is free to bring them kids anywhere they want to, at any point they want to. And when that child is of age, they have a decision to make on their own or with their agent. And I'm going to say to parents, you need to start getting some legal representation for your kids and some agents to represent them. Because a lot of these things that are going on in the football about thieving players and robbing players and blah, blah. Listen, man, I'm my son. My son could be today at Mount Pleasant and next week we want him go Cavaliers. And my son. And my son. So anybody who was raised in the Arsenal Academy should never ever represent no other team for the rest of their life because they were raised in the academy at Arsenal or the academy at Southampton. Football don't work like that. Ethan Wanieri, for example, is looking to leave Arsenal because he wants more playing time. Cole Palmer left City. Omari Hutchinson made a decision for his career. So come on, man. Let's leave them public sentiments about stealing. It seems like people's children have become our personal properties. So if they move, somebody's stealing them. People's children are people's children. Hold on, I have a caller. Oh, hold on there, people. All right, I have to call, but caller, I never set up, my bad, caller. I never set up the thing yet, caller. Jeez and peace. Call back the caller, yeah, People, we're going to take a call, then we're going to come back to the big topic of the day. You hear right name? Big topic of the day. All right? Peso and the warrior, them, Hey, there are some people, There are some people, right? Everywhere them and Peso meet up a war, Me don't know why. Why? Like, I've never seen them anywhere on the YouTube space where war is not going on. Yeah, man. Let me see if I can. Let me call about the person. Hold on then. Let me make this call. I want to make sure I respect my callers,
Mannings.
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yeah, man. You're live on I Am Sure Sports,
Yeah, how you doing, my brother?
I am doing good, my brother. How you doing?
I am doing good. I'm outside at the moment, so if you have any trouble here, let me know. But
people are hearing. I am hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. I'm listening to the second part of your conversation there. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, okay, what man is saying needs context. I, for one, do believe that your son and the next person's son and my son, they are our children, and we have a right to make whatever decision we believe is in their best interest. But I think the conversation that you're having needs context in the sense of there are rules and regulations in football that if you take your kid to an academy that is funding your son's development after a certain age, that there's a process. Yes, you have a right to move your son, but there's a process for that. And the people that have funded the development of your son up to that stage is entitled to receive their investment or reward for the investment into your son. So I think in a system where you might be paying to play, like we have here in the US, I think you have all rights to take your kid at any time you feel that you're not getting value for your money and leave and go somewhere else. I would only caution sometimes, and parents have to consider what's the message that that's sending to the kid. Are we raising a quitter, or are we raising a kid that we want to be resilient, that we want to prepare them? Because in life, you're not always going to get what you want, and you have to be resilient, and you have to fight for it, and you have to bounce back. And right. So are we preparing them? Are we preparing them for life ahead, or are we just protecting them in that moment? So I think the context that the conversation needs is the environment. It's according to the environment that your kid is in.
All right, very good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, very good point. So let me just make sure I understand what you're saying, because I think I agree with it. So if an academy takes my son at 10 and they are paying everything for him, for his development, then moving that child from the academy comes with some sort of compensation to the academy. But in cases like what you have in the US, where you are paying for your child to be in an academy, then as a parent, you should be able to move that child, and someone don't say that a next academy has stolen the kid. All right?
Yeah.
And that is because, but you're also saying that even in that context, it could be seen as your child being a quitter, which is not a good message. All right?
I mean, you've got to understand that sometimes, why do people in an environment like we have here in the US, where people pay to play, why do parents leave most of the time? They leave because they figure that they're not getting enough playing time. They don't have access to dictate what happened to their kids, and everything that has nothing to do with their kid development, right? And sometimes instead of getting together with the coach and creating an environment where the kid could improve and earn what he gets, right? They quit and they go somewhere else, and then they take themselves with themselves. They take themselves wherever they are going. So then they repeat the same behavior, right? So the kid along the way is not learning what the qualities or the characteristic that sport is designed to teach the kid. You follow what I'm saying? That prepares them for life up the road.
Yeah,
right?
But in the context, though, Andre, in the context, right? I understand, because you have dual responsibility in this, or dual roles in this. One, you have kids who have come through academy system, and two, you operate an academy as well, where, right, you may have experienced some of what I'm talking about. So that there is that context. But let's bring it closer to home, because this is just over the last 6 months, just this constant conversation about player stealing, and it's about moving from one academy to another. And in the context of Jamaica, a lot of the academies that operate now, they charge a fee. Now, so in my head, if I'm paying you, let's use Jamaican dollars, $5,000 per session, all right, for my son to be there or my daughter to be there, I think after 3 years, I need to move them. They're at the next academy. That academy did not steal the child from the first one. That's not stealing. No. And that's what I'm speaking to more so. I'm also saying, though, that if you come and you recruit my child and you are covering everything, but after a couple of times, I decide that I am going to move my child, I am also not, because I may not be happy, I don't consider that to be stealing.
No, it's not stealing, because there's a process for that, right? And this is the thing that I think happens, because we have to understand, and what, you would know better than I would what the system is like. There should be a registration process in Jamaica. There should be a process that documents, because FIFA have it all lined up, right? I think it's from 12 years old. If you can show that, if you have it documented, that this kids have trained X amount of hours with you, and your club is registered in a particular category, the compensation that you deserve is already outlined, right? Now, the value of that player at minimum is based on that conversation, which is tied to the the level that your academy is whether it's level 1, level 2, level 3, or whatever. But the quality of the player, you might be able to say, and the person might be able to agree that the player is worth more than that. So a 15-year-old, if you want to go, you use Mount Pleasant to Cavaliers, and Cavaliers say, look, I want $6 million Jamaican dollars or whatever is for management. And Cavaliers believe that players will that they pay that fee, even though the compensation for that player may be less based on the criteria that FIFA have in place, right? And the level that the club is registered at. So I guess all I'm trying to say is that when we throw those things out there without context, right? Because I think your intent is to try to help guide parents, right, as well in the decision making, right? Because you tell them about get lawyers and that kind of stuff. So, and I agree with that.
And get it,
parents need to be guided, right? So I agree with that. But I think we have to put it in context, because if you're paying me, look, I've never tried to stop a player from leaving the football club. If a parent come to me and say we are leaving, we go and they don't even have to tell me where they're going. We are leaving. I said, okay, good luck. There's no conversation because you told me you're leaving, right? Now, if you come to me and said, look, we are considering this, can we discuss this? Then we can have a discussion, right? Because maybe there's something they don't understand. But it is my belief that I am not in a position to tell anybody what to do with their kid, right? If they ask me, I will give advice, and I would preface it and follow up with saying, at the end of the day, the decision is a family decision. You guys got to make the decision.
You know
this
what
is just my.
You know what is the biggest turnoff in our football for many clubs? It's an unfortunate turnoff. When a player is approached by a club, right? Especially a player who has not yet represented Jamaica, the national team. So say that I am the top player in the tier 2, and there's a Premier League club scouting me. And they reach out to me because, remember now, how the system is, you don't necessarily call a player representative. You don't even call the club. You talk to the player in Jamaica, and sometimes those players will go and sign, and then you go. I guess it happens in Europe where you arrange personal terms with a player, you go to the club. Most times, I'll tell you from my experience, when a player say, for example, please speak to my agent, that clubs immediately dismiss the player. It's almost like, how dare you tell us that we can't talk to you? We need to talk to your agent. We are not even going to consider you again. So the desperate players end up saying, okay. And they end up settling for what the club is offering. I think the safeguarding policies that are oftentimes being discussed need to have that written in it to protect the players from being shunned because they tell clubs to speak to their agents.
Okay, so let's give it context again, right? Are you speaking about minors?
No. So I'm talking about at the senior level, because it's going to come back to. So what happened is, a lot of times when these academies in Jamaica end up even having players, this is without parental consent sometimes, depending on who, Because what happened is that how Jamaica is, you see a local youth to play some ball on the street, and you're in an academic bureau, they tell him to come and train with you. By the time the parent get involved, that child probably training at that club in the evening after school for all 2 months, in a lot of cases, And the man say, where are you going? Which is, I don't think they because I know there's new safeguarding things like from FIFA and CONCACAF. I don't think it extends to those places, and it needs to.
So I wouldn't say. This is what I would say. Responsible. I'll tell you what I do. There are times when you have a 17-year-old kid will reach out via email, text messaging. They get the phone number, or they call you and they say, "Can I try out for your club?" Right? I'd like to try out for your club. I'll ask, "How old are you?" The kid may say he's 16, 17, and this happens a lot with kids who are from different cultures, right? And the first question after that is, are your parents aware that you're talking to me? Right? That's the first question, because I'm not gonna go down a road with a 16-year-old kid or with my 17-year-old kid without his parents being involved, because he's a minor. He or she's a minor, right? And I have a responsibility to make sure that the parents is involved, because there are consequences that you could encounter if a parent decide that, hey, you dealt with my kid as a minor in this context and you misled him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Andre, you're
so
speaking about your context is so different because of the legal framework, safeguarding policies.
No. Hold on. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I am mentioning the legal framework, but it's who I am as an individual,
right.
and who a lot of people are as individuals.
Which is what I am going to get to, and who you are as a person and as a parent. All right?
And as a parent.
What I am saying to you, the reality of the space in Jamaica oftentimes leads to this, which is kids end up, we have cases right now out there, I'm not at liberty to call names, but there are cases out there now where we have several youngsters who said they were asked to sign something, and after they signed it, it turned out to be something completely different. And that could be because they did not read this stuff. They had no representation. And all I'm saying is that there needs to be a safeguarding measure that protects that nothing that is signed where there is no legal representation for our minors should be acceptable as any sort of contract. It cannot.
Right. So you're going between minors and adults, right? So that's why I asked you just if you're speaking about minors, right? So there's a conversation taking place right now in the Caribbean. I think safeguarding is running rampant, because part of the problem is that we have safeguarding. It appears as though we are now learning how to treat our children because of safeguarding, right? It's happening in Trinidad big time, where people, everything now is about safeguarding. Now, one of the conversations that's taking place is about coaching education, right? And we talk about coaching education and getting B license and A license, and people talking about winning matches and talking about coaching teams and whatever. But one of the main things that's supposed to come out, and I don't know, you might be able to tell me, that's supposed to come out of those coaching courses is what is your main responsibility as a coach, right? Towards the young people. Your main responsibility is to create a safe environment for young people to function, right? In creating a safe environment, part of the things that you're discussing, that's part of it. The minute you allow a minor to sign a document that creates a relationship, let's assume is a 16-year-old, that creates a relationship as an agent with that minor, you effectively have taken away that young person opportunity to get a scholarship, for example, in America to go to school, because he now becomes a professional as opposed to an amateur. You understand what I'm saying? But most important, as people, we need to understand the value of having a young person's parent involved in whatever club or development process that they go through, because the only person that benefits from that, the main benefactor of that, is the player, once the parent is involved. So if we have people have minors signing document, the system is failing the kids. The entire system is failing the kids.
We agree on that, which is part of the issue. And I'm saying that it stems from because I don't think any academy can claim ownership of a child to the point that they would say a child was stolen from them. When it comes on to those who are like 16 and 17, until you're 18, there's nothing that you should sign without parental or legal representation that should be valid. And I'm speaking specifically as it relates to footballing matters.
Yep. Parental, not even legal, parental.
Yeah.
A parent must be involved, and any document that they sign should have a line for the parent to sign if the kid is under 18.
And not only that, because all of those things must be presented to the administrative arm for football in the nation to be vetted. And here's why I'm saying that. If a mother were to sign a document for her daughter and collect fridge and stove and TV and bed, that would be considered child trafficking, illegal. So a mother should not be receiving those kind of favors for her son to even play sport.
And so you're saying that is happening in Jamaica. Just early this morning.
It doesn't happen in our schools.
Right, and I just early this morning I was reading, listening to something that talks about that same thing happening with players from Brazil going to Eastern Europe, and the family is moving, the family is getting paid to bring him because he's a young talent.
That's
so it happens
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right.
I may be wrong, but that's what I believe. I could be wrong, but I just think like something must be wrong with that.
But the system must be set up. If you and there's provisions for this. If the football, the member association have a responsibility that if an agent is working in Jamaica and signs a contract with a Jamaican player, that contract is registered at the federation. Right? So when there's a dispute, they know who the player belongs to. Right? So nobody can, right? If we're not putting in place the tools that are available to us to streamline and make sure that things are done in the right way, then the system is failing.
Absolutely.
The young people.
So I'm going to call on the new General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Mr. Roy Simpson. One of the things I'd love for you to set up, sir, is a legal department where all of these contracts are vetted at the federation level, especially as it relates to minors.
I think
because too many times we hear that the player said that I did not sign it. That's not my signature. They said that okay, that was moved from one document to a next document. They didn't see so many different stories that we have been hearing over the years. So I believe that the MA should have a legal arm that vets these things to say this was a legal, legitimate contract, or this is an illegal contract that breaches the minors' human rights, and there are violations, and if they should happen again, this is what we are going to do.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the MA would look at it as such a broad scope, but what I do know is education is required. So just recently, I saw where the president of the Grenada Football Federation brought a lady in. I think she worked with UEFA, or she have worked with UEFA to talk to all the clubs about commercialization, right? How they can go out and create a product and raise money for the football club and whatever the case may be, to become a little more self-sufficient. I think in this context, education is important as well, that you educate the clubs, because there's a chance that some people, I could see, I know there's going to be a negative response to some of that, but sometimes we do things because we know it's wrong and we are just bad people, or sometimes we don't know what we're doing is wrong. You understand? So I think educating the club owners as to what proper best practices are. The coaches should be educated in the coaching courses about their responsibility their responsibilities, especially as it relates to minors. Right? It's not just about learning how to run training sessions and win games. Right? It's about your responsibility as a leader.
Yeah.
In the community, not only at a football club, in the community. The minute you start
I think you have
coaching,
to be careful. I think you have to be careful when you use that word leader on YouTube now, you know.
But I speaking about but in the context of leadership. In the context of leadership. Again, yes, and so we have to understand our responsibilities, because we are no longer just a coach, we are a leader in the community. So we have to behave in a particular way. So if the coaching courses are not providing that value, then they have to reassess that. If the coach is not taking that information and taking it back into the environment, then what value is the license? But
all of these other major, I think someone has been saying, I think it's Conrad, about the semi-pro and all of that. But and you know, we almost like we're expecting professional standard when we run a semi-pro league. I think what we're saying, this should be the goal. Whether or not we ever accomplish it is a different thing. So the English FA or the Premier League, they have a legal office. The NBA has a legal office. The Major League Baseball has legal offices in terms of from the operational standpoint. I think it is something worthwhile for the football in not just in Jamaica, but across CARICOM or the Caribbean to do, because if you're talking about safeguard, it would include some of this. It includes protecting players' right. And I'm telling you, there are many players who have been disenfranchised because they mentioned the club. I don't speak to, I speak to my agent. But if I stay on the phone any longer with you, I think the people are going to stone me, because your 25 minutes of good information.
Are they talking trash in the chat? Because I can't see the chat.
No, man, they're agreeing with you, because I know even Danny Dredd said he spoke about Ricardo Gardner moving to Europe, and his mother was brought with him. But he was 18 years old. I think that is a different thing than when you're moving minors and giving them jobs. It's almost like you're paying the parents. You're giving the parents a reward to get the child. Which I think morally, that's a very thin line that we're on.
According to FIFA rules, as far as I understand, you cannot move as a minor unless your parents move for work. Right? If your parents move for work, then you could go into an environment in Europe, come into an environment in America or somewhere there, and otherwise you got to wait until you're 18. Yeah, the US Federation does have a legal department that agents register the contracts with, that is probably the first place that players go to get things done. And look, the player is doing the right thing. If the player have an agent and they're contacted, they're doing the right thing to say, talk to my agent.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing anything wrong, because that's why the agent is being paid.
But it's a broader, listen, we could go so far. So even if I'm a young artist and say Brian and Conrad and Brown Beer and Danny Dredd keeping a party, they don't call Vibes Cartel, they talk to his road manager or his agent. Manager.
Yeah.
But because I am not at cartel level, when they call me and I say to them, speak to my booking agent, they immediately just cut me off. Because, which is what I'm saying happening in the football. When you are big and you play for the national team, they will speak to your agent. They know that. But for the young players, they don't want to do that. So many players end up in situations that are not favorable to them. Not favorable to them. Because they are not there yet. And so they end up in this contract situation that ends up harming them. Because if they tell the club to speak to their agent, they are dismissed immediately.
Right. And again, you're blurring the lines there, right? You're blurring the lines. If you're talking about people under 18, the most they can sign is an amateur contract.
Yeah, but
if you sign them to, Well, they're in Jamaica. They could sign a professional contract at what age? I don't know what the rule is there. if it's in Jamaica, right? But at the end of the day, if a football club call me, I'm a young boy. Football club call me, assuming that I have my head on my shoulder a little bit, and I say talk to my agent, and because of that, you don't want to deal with me, then that's fine. Then you won the place for me to begin with, right? Yeah. It's not a good environment for me, because one of the most important things that we have to take into consideration, that a human brain is not fully developed until I think it's 25 years old, right? So imagine dealing with a 16 or 17-year-old and asking them to make decisions about things that they're not capable in some cases of fully understanding. That's why they're signing those documents. That's why they need a parent involved. That's why they need legal services, right? So again, I think it's up to the people that is responsible for football, right, to put in place rules, and they may have to be more stringent than some places, because if people don't want to follow the rules with their bad intention, put things in place to protect the kids. That's the number one. That's everybody's number one responsibility, and we don't need safeguarding to tell us that, right? Unless our culture does not allow us to want to treat our young people properly.
Yeah, but you can't say you don't need it, because guess what? You know that people know that if you drive too fast, you're going to crash, but you still have to put up speed limit, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, all I'm saying that is that sometimes you have to have the thing written in black and white for people to comply. That's all I'll say. Unless it is there, you can't. Not every person you can trust their moral integrity to do what is right. So therefore, you put it in black and white to protect all parties. Yeah.
So can I give you a little bit of homework before I go?
Go ahead.
Because you're in a better position than me to find out. You could find out if the coaching course deal with these issues, or if it's just purely football.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm hopefully going to have someone on sometime this week who I think would be perfect to answer those questions, because
I don't know about someone. There's one person you need to have on.
One person?
There's one person who can speak to coaching education in Jamaica right now.
No. That's what people have been
with authority.
No.
With authority.
No, not one person. Okay. Not one person.
Okay.
There are multiple persons who can speak on it in Jamaica.
All right. Now. Stand corrected.
Yes. Yeah, man. All right, big up yourself. Thanks for the call.
Good time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, man. That's Andre for you. All right. Let me just take a couple of comments. I've not taken any for a little bit. Let me take this one. Chris Williams. I don't know if this is Chris Williams or Chris Williams, but it says, you on the GFF are a failure regarding players. All right. So first thing I want to ask, I want someone to tell me how, Chris Williams, since that you have said it, send a message and tell me how I have failed a player. I don't know which Chris Williams this is, because I can't see the picture. But I can give a player's name that you can call them before, behind my back, at least 100 in Jamaica and in the States that directly, not indirectly, but directly, I have helped them in their lives. From college to people getting a master's, becoming doctors, and directly. Not people contribution, but me taking them from 13 all the way till them complete college. So tell me how I have failed a player. Because it's one thing to make a statement, and maybe have enough proof to show me how I failed a player in Jamaica. So, and I want you to tell me how you have helped a player and which player. So we have said to these things, we have to be able to prove what we are saying. All right. So that's it for that comment right there. All right. So let's move on. Let's see now. All right, Brazil. That was the last conversation. I say if Travis a comment or some fighter go on, semi-pro league. Kyle said that's child abuse to have kids. I think that should be signing contracts who are underage without adult representation. Law must be in effect that protects kids. If not, enact such a law. Totally agree, which is what I'm trying to say. All right. Danny Dredd said true management, which is I think that had to do with the agent stuff. Yeah, man. Leader can call anytime he want, man, and make him point clear. All right. Yeah. Big up Najee in the building out there with the name of the school again. Dintail with Lenny Hyde. Big up yourself, All right. Are these academies registered with the GFF, who oversees these clubs to protect the players? Very good question, which is part of what I'm trying to figure out. How does it work, A.M. Henry? And I need to do some more digging to get specific as to the framework that protects people from these things. Because I think it's I think it's a very, very important question. Yeah. All right. No, man, I don't think this is the Chris Williams from Proven. Trust me. Chris Williams from Proven who don't make them kind of nonsensical statement. All right. No. So, again, first thing, Reggae Boyz 11 for September from the Men in the Street. This is not management selection. So I think it's a very, very strong team. And this is, again, given that everyone is fit. Everyone is fit. Hey, Mark, anytime you want to challenge what I have done for the, how many years? 2 and a year? Is call me. Don't send a text. Call in and make we talk. All right. So I'm going to show you the lineup. All right. And then, you can call, you can give your opinion. You may agree with some, you may disagree with some. That is your right. This is all opinion based. And what matters most is not the 11 that the street picks. It is the 11 that the coach picks. Because ultimately, the team is in the hand of the coach. Big up, Rafael Morrison. Sunday, me and him talking. They had Jamaica, yeah. Big up, Rafael. In the island, I go and chill out. General, though. Yeah, all right. So, here we go. All right. And I can give you some stats on them as well if you want. So this is the 11 that the people have picked. Maybe I should do it in parts so you can see it better, right? You want me to do that? Put it in terms of goalkeeper and defender. This is not, and you don't have to agree, you can just name who you'd instead. So that is it. So that is the back four. Again, this is given that all of these players are fit and for the most part, documentation ready. All right. So people can add it. People can be added for the 60-man Rasta Glenroy, Duckland. So that's Rico Henry, Ethan Pinnock, Joel Latibodier, and Max Aarons. All right. Andre Blake in goal. Now, of course, you have other players like Amari Bell, Greg Lee, Amari Bell on the left. You have like a Richard King, Damian Lowe. You have Mason Holgate as well. On the right, you have Dexter Lembikisa, who can also play around there. You have Deshane Bernard, who is also an ex-center back that is not here. All right. All right. So, all right, you want to see the entire squad? I thought you wanted to see it in bits and pieces, you know. All right, so that is it. All right, so then you go to the midfield. They have Bobby Reed and Isaac Hayden. All right, so their preferred formation is this is a starting 11 people. A starting 11. The people name a starting 11. Who is in this squad? We can't do that, right? So let's look at the 11. All right. No, it is again Ravel name. All of the names came up, but these were of the 70 people that were given the paper. All right. These were the names that were selected the most to be in a starting 11. All right. Okay. Now, you have your opinion, and like I always said, they on YouTube, in social media, yes, 70 people were given a piece of paper. 70 people were given a piece of paper with 76 players in total. And some of the stuff that were outlined, if all of them have documentation, and if everyone is fit, who would be your starting 11? Not your 23-man squad, but the 11 player, the 11 players. Yeah, Sept are my friends nowadays. Yeah, that you realize Lati Bodier are my friend, and Ethan Pinnock are my friend, and Rico Henry are my friend, and Isaac Hayden are my friend, and Bobby Reed are my friend, and 70 are my friends. Yes, so let me work with the narrative of nowadays. 70 names, right? All right, of my friends. Only my friends. None of my enemy names were in the 70. Just my friends. All right? And from those names, these are. So I left off all my enemies that could play for Jamaica and only included the people who are my friends. All right? Okay? All right. So let's go. So that is now, so that's that. Then they have Russell. There you go. So that is the other three like attacking options. So Russell would play in the number 10. I suspect Bailey on one side, Greenwood on one side. All right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So just Henry, just let you know that by regulation, you're really supposed to have 23. All right. So nowadays. All right. So nowadays. So you name your 11. Why people are coming back to your AM Henry? Why people always argue with other people's selection? Just make yours. Why argue with what other people do? Focus on you. In this case, be a little bit self-centered. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. Who do we have online?
Bless up. Odell Ogran.
So this is
yeah,
this is an lower brother.
No, so good. But yeah, you know the thing. But we have a little problem with the squad still, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a problem still, but in terms of with like I'm all the heritage player coming in and all that, but some of them have to work them way into the lineup as well. It can't just be September we just throw Aaron's and Henry out there. All right, like for instance, Nana, why Luna going to start with a Latibo here? Like, he hasn't played that bad in his position. He played bad probably when they put him out of position, right? So, like, what are the criteria? What would you just do? True, because somebody is a bigger name, we just put them over everybody else? I mean, we have to kind of look on that. You know, some players have to go work them way up into the squad. Same like how Dix was getting time over Campbell and a lot of people was upset because Dix was working way into that, you know? So, with Henry and Aaron's just jumping in. Yeah, big name them want to see them, but we feel like some players need to feel before me really want to see.
So
we just jump
right.
on.
So let me just say, because fine, so you would replace Rico Henry with who?
Latibo here. Well, Latibo here with Low, and that tough because Lati play good, but I'm saying Low has been there Lati has been there long also. Well, either Pinnock, because Pinnock never looked good in the World Cup, so we can say Low and Latibo there.
You have to make up your mind. You give it to
well, no, right now. Looking for it, Pinnock did look bad in the World Cup. So Pinnock out of.
No, here's what I'm saying to you. Give me your 11. Like, who would you
All right, my 11.
Yeah.
All right. Blake in a goal.
Yes. So the goalkeeper is the same. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Aaron's good.
Aaron's is good. So
Latibo.
You okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would I put Latibo there because I like when play good. That's all. Oldgate over Pinnock though, because Oldgate haven't had a bad game for me. Pinnock look rusty in the
you're starting Oldgate over Pinnock.
Yes, Oldgate over Pinnock.
Okay, all right.
If Oldgate, I mean, can you tell me a game Oldgate have which was bad? No, we don't really know that. So we're gonna say Oldgate. Henry, I guess because a big name, people are going to want to see that.
No, sir. Don't tell me what people want to see. You pick
Henry has to start. He might go start. The first game I feel like Aaron's might come off at the bench, but them eventually going to start the second game. But left it how you have it. That's with Henry. Fine with Henry there.
So you're dropping Pinnock and you're dropping Latibo here.
No, Pinnock. I say Oldgate and Latibo there, them two are good.
So the only person you're taking out are the one that the people select is you're dropping Ethan Pinnock and you're playing Mason Oldgate instead.
Yes.
All right.
Oldgate there, so.
All right. What about your midfield?
Bobby Reed good.
Bobby Reed.
Yeah, man.
Good.
Bobby Reed made 8 automatic. Then me personally would have moved Greenwood to the right wing and start Gray. Gray over the left wing.
So you Bailey and bench for you?
Yeah, Bailey had so many opportunities and fail over and over and over.
So you start now, man. Is your listen? You can give a reason.
So Bailey.
And then who is the next midfielder? They are the people of Russell.
Russell until him feel.
Russell. And then let me just show you people again of all the names. They chose Shamar Nicholson as the striker. Now, who is your striker?
You know, me personally would have say this how me look on it. If Antonio find a club, Antonio would have been the striker. If him find a club between now and September, right? If not, me say Warner Brown have to get a next chance over Boza because Boza still not starting club in Mexico, or we don't know what's up with that.
So in September, if Antonio don't find a club, all right, you're starting Brown as your striker.
Yeah. Brown would have been the starter.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right,
bless up.
So all right then. So that is. Let me just write down in. All right. This is Olo. We just write this down.
Yeah.
Then we get them 11. All right. Respect. Thanks for your call, sir. And you see, you have to just give your opinion, you know, because there's no fight. All right.
No, man. That's the thing, man.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So, people, don't argue. The people are not here, you know. The 70 people. Some of them may be in the comment section. All right. So, you pick your team. Because we're not arguing no. Because people made a selection. So that is who they selected. So Odell Lowe has Blake in goal. He has Max Aarons, Joel Attabadier, Mason Holgate, Rico Henry, Bobby Reed, Isaac Hayden, Mason Greenwood, Russell, Jonathan Russell that is, Demarai Gray, and he has Warner Brown up front. I saw someone else here who named an 11. This is Team Aggressive. So Team Aggressive have Ravel over Bobby. All right. He has Bell for Henry. And he has Ravel. You see what is so funny is with all the talking, you know, he has Pinnock. And he has Low. With all the talking and all the criticism, the selections are not far off, you know. You just check how many changes you see people making. Look at how many changes. All right. Duckland, call me. Duckland, call me. Because Duckland team has the most changes. Let me put up Duckland. What Duckland would do come September. All right. So Duckland is going Blake in goal. He's going Aarons at right back. This is Duckland. He's going Pinnock and Low. This is Duckland. I'm going to write them down and I'll write them name beside it, you know. All right. What is this? Russell, he hadn't read. So, I see you back in my play. What Duckland? Duckland, what are you doing? Duckland. So who going to play left back Duckland? He has Hayden. He has, I think that is Lewis Baker. Don't know. He has Russell. He has Cephas. Brown. Greenwood. Unless he's putting Bobby Reed at wingback. Duckland, you have to call in and explain that to me, sir. I think Peso has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I think Peso also has Bobby Reed playing wingback. I think. Henry not helping. Burrell, Greenwood, Demarai, John Russell, Hayden, Tyrese Hall, Amari Bell, Pinnock, Holgate, Aarons. Okay. So this has Greenwood, Demarai, and Burrell playing up front, Russell, Hayden, and Hall in midfield, Amari Bell, Pinnock, Holgate, and Aarons. Who is the goalkeeper? All right, that is Know Yourself team. All right. Looking at different options. This is Demon now who said that the people them who picked the team were in Rumbar. Demo has Greenwood, Burrell, Tyrese, Campbell, I suspect, Russell Johnson, Daniel Johnson, Jonathan Russell, and Isaac Hayden. He has Greg Lee, Bernard Pinnock, Lemby Kisa, and Blake in goal. Demo, you have to call in, boss. Like some of these things I am glad that you're. Oh, somebody said Rico Henry not play. Rico Henry was back in Brentford team at the end of the season, sir. Yeah, management, do your job because you are doing a great. Yeah, big up yourself, Soldier. No man, some of the Soldier. Some of the persons you have to understand. They just give trouble. No better. They know better, but they want to give problems. You know, Issa Allen said he has Blake in goal. All right, Pinnock, Lowe, Henry, Aarons, Hayden, Ravel, Greenwood, Jonathan Rowe. Wasn't he just called up for England? I don't know. Leon Bailey. All right, Leon Bailey, Rowe, Greenwood, Ravel Hayden. 1, 2, 3. Dre, anyway, they're calling now. Dre, anyway, that's sports. Chelsea have big game today.
Yeah, man. Chelsea, I win the whole thing. Everything. Win the whole Club World Cup, man. Knock off Fulminese today, and then we'll beat PSG next. I'll lift the trophy. But we can't stay long. So I have to chime in with the 11. But I believe say would have been my strongest 11 if all of the players them have them passport and fit and ready to go.
Yeah.
Andre Blake in goal.
Yeah. Blake.
Ethan Pinnock. Joel Latiba there.
Hold on.
Max Aarons.
Lots. Aarons. I write them down now. Who again? Yeah.
Rico Henry.
Oh, you have the same backline as Paul Edwards. It's some paper we gave out to people and they select it. Not me. It's just people in the street. Go ahead, yeah. Henry, yeah. Midfield.
Yeah. So midfield now this right get it shift up little because you don't know some avid fan of the Chelsea product. Lewis Baker.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayden.
Okay.
Ravel Morrison at number 10.
Okay.
Then on the left, Demarai Gray.
Yeah.
On the right, Leon Bailey.
Yeah.
Leading the line, Mason Greenwood.
Okay. All right. But all right. So here's what I'm going to do. All right, Dre, I know you can't stay long. Respect, you know. The man them over the great sports debaters are asking for you, you know. Him God, him not to answer the man. God. Bailey should be on the bench. Start Greenwood and Cephas. Bernard is injured until November, according to reports. How can you put Greenwood on the right to facilitate Bailey? These are the crazy decisions that men should know better do. Demo, we're drinking, but are you drunk? Bernard injured, bro. Yeah, do yourself. All right, my 11, right, is Pino, Colgate, Aaron, Antonio. All right, should I put up Dre 11? Paul, I did not put up any team. All right, Natty Congo. I would include him for Nick. All right, so all right, they're making Chelsea. They're making fun of Chelsea, saying a lot of South American country they're playing. All right. All right, so let me put up Dre 11. All right, so Dre says he's starting Greenwood. Mason Greenwood, he's starting right here. Oh, geez. So let's do that, right? So he's starting Mason Greenwood here. And he's starting Gray here. Saying Bobby Reed is on his bench because he's going Lewis Baker. And he says Jonathan Russell is not in his team. He's starting Ravel, Morrison. All right. So that is Dre Anyweather team. All right, here comes Demo. Demo!
Good afternoon, boss. Big up yourself. Big up the comment section.
People,
I have like 2.5 minutes,
right,
boss. What you want? What you want?
No,
what you want me to call about?
the people that say that you are drunk.
Oh, I am sure you said, assuming that these players are fit and available, you should pick your 11.
Right.
So I'm gonna understand how I'm drunk.
But because you're saying that Bernard won't be ready until November and it is for September.
But that wasn't the criteria. I'm working with fit and available.
Okay.
You say assuming everybody fit and available. That's why I'm gonna pick the 11
So
for me,
okay,
Sean Bernard is one of our best centre backs with Ethan Pinnock when he's fit and available. So that's why I'm gonna pick him.
Okay.
So unless you want to change the criteria and go realistic, because they can pick a different 11. If we have go realistic, boss. So even that you want me to tell me, because I'm going for King and then Monday.
No, but I don't think, given reports, that Dishane will be ready for September based on his injury, though. So that is not
okay. But some names are called like Louis Baker and these people.
Well,
I don't know about these people and Greenwood and them.
Greenwood in September, Greenwood should be available for selection. So that is
sure.
Yeah. Baker
as well.
Baker I don't know about.
So you never deal with Dre anyway, that's why I say Fimo not realistic.
No, listen, remember, I am saying it's the people. It's not me saying that you are drunk, It's the people in the comment that said that. You said the people are drunk, but you are the one who is drunk, not me. Because you're operating criteria. I'm just reading comments.
The team that the people them select with no Burrell, no Tyrese Campbell, none of these guys, they must be drunk. That could be 70 sane people, man. So the little that we saw of Burrell, like it clear that the man is miles ahead of a lot of people.
So you'd start Burrell over Greenwood as a striker because Dre has Greenwood as a striker.
No. That's why I have Greenwood playing over Bailey. So that's why him dip on the thing for me.
Okay.
Burrell lead my line at all times. Whether we have Antonio fit, whoever we have fit, Burrell is my striker going forward. I've seen enough. I have seen enough when the man play one game. I may tell you, man, it's not because of his goal that he scored, his movement, his hold up play, his eye for goal. For me, must say enough. And I think that long term, Burrell is the man for lead Jamaica line. I am shocked that he didn't get more playing time going forward. But for me, I'm gonna say name. Where's striker name who we use? Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he was getting goals and stuff. And that's fine.
If the Duckland say you sound drunk.
No, I'm sick, but not drunk. But I'm actually sick. Yeah, definitely Burrell I'm a forward. And I'm not sure about all the other names, but I was just picking the team.
You said that, so you'd start Burrell. Even if Antonio is fit, you'd start Burrell over him.
Yeah, easily. easily.
If Bowser is playing regular for his club, you'd start Burrell over him.
Burrell.
Okay.
Everybody else step on the bench.
Okay.
Everybody else.
And based on what now you start Tyrese Campbell? What based on what you have seen?
Based off the season that he had at Charlton, I know he never get no time for play in terms of nationality. I mean, he got like 5 minutes or something like that, 8 minutes off the bench. But from all accounts, I heard that he was really good in training when he came here. But I'm just a work out for the season that him have. And between now and September, I don't expect that, him farmer go deep so far.
Let me ask you, what do you make of Leon Bailey's performance in the Gold Cup?
A little better than average in probably one of the games. But for me, it's underwhelming. I think the game when he hit the bar and the post, I think that game he was decent. He was decent when he came off. When he came on against St. Vincent? Whoever would he play and him come off of the bench?
BVI?
He was decent. Yeah, BVI. He was decent in that game as well, but he was a little bit above average. For me, Leon Bailey need to just sit down and watch the game off the bench and try and impact. So I wouldn't be starting him.
All right. So what about Cephas?
Again, Cephas was excellent. Listen, the man is my. By the way, me turn Cephas into one star. I want everybody to know this. You remember that time in Jamaica when we did see you at the hotel, our Lincoln?
Yeah.
But I was very afraid to go to Cephas as you.
You turn.
I was kind of starstruck, and you can attest to that. But when we brave up, but you have a little sit down and before we take the picture and me that talk, I'm gonna tell the man, say, you're a star, boss. You just need to just hold down your head and play to your potential, because man said, no man, he's just a humble youth rated. He said, no, you need to believe in yourself, bro. And him take that on board and look at him now.
How you know that him take that on board, Divo? What
I mean, you see the man performance now, man.
But how do you know it is because of what you said to him?
Because I saw him and I saw his reaction. But anyway, Cephas was brilliant.
But you don't have him in your starting 11.
No, I know. That's why I'm getting at. He was brilliant between. You might hear a little bit of beep in here. Yeah. Leading up to the Unity Cup, he was brilliant. And then I think that after the Unity Cup, he kind of dipped in form. And obviously, when teams close down that side and him don't have a lot of space for run, he becomes less effective. And so Mother just want give him a time for just chill on the bench. Like Maria Cephas, everybody would know that, right? But I think him for just, take a little time on the bench and then him can impact the game coming out with his pace against tired defenders, so on and so forth. I just want to give Tyrese a run based off of full form at club level.
The people are saying that, Demo. I think Robbie's saying that you're the reason why Cephas is playing so bad because you are the one who. Oh my God, this is like crazy.
What was the game? What was the game that I came down for? One of the games when I come down.
I don't remember. I don't
It was the Guatemala game.
I think so.
And we have the assist to Bowser who beat them 1-0 at the stadium. It was his assist, I think it was. We beat them 1-0. We beat somebody 1-0 the game over. Or was it DR? It was DR. Right? That game, them talk to the man, from that game leading up to the Unity Cup, Cephas has been probably our best player. So from my advice, I just know him have a dip in form since the Gold Cup. Like him start to some real madness and it look like me have to talk to him again. Like Cephas have the chance to pass the ball 50 million times and to pass the ball to Antonio and other players. And the man just hold on him head and I try score. Like we need to give him a talk again.
Yeah.
And maybe the four turns will change and he will make back me left. That's all I say. But we need to see Tyrese We need to see Burrell, and everybody say Greenwood are ready for September. Then Greenwood obviously starts over everybody. The midfield, I leave out some people, but them left on the bench like Karai. Think he has to be there. Ravel there and all of these people.
All right, cool. All right. Respect him.
So something wrong with me.
Hope you feel better soon. You understand?
Yeah, but like you can take out. All right, so wait, let me just take out Bernard then. Since we're gonna go realistic, so I'm not gonna use Bernard, then I'm gonna use Holgate.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Wait. Holgate. Holgate or Nana?
A good thing.
We not have Nana in the team, right?
A good thing. Say, Una no coach, you know.
No, well, I know we not have Nana in the team, right?
No.
Okay, all right. So scratch all of that. So it's Pinnock and Nana. Pinnock and Nana. We know we need to forget one name. So there is no Jamaica without Damien Lowe. So he is the partner with Pinnock for me, who will get them on the bench. Fair?
Yeah. All right.
All right, boss. Big up.
Man. All right. So that was Demo. So people, this is Paul Edwards 11. All right. He says he's starting Burrell up front. He has Greenwood, Russell, and Cephas. Hayden, no, he has Reed. He has Bobby Reed in midfield with Isaac Hayden. He has Bobby Reed, and then that is his defense line. All right. So that is, yeah. So, Deem, I wanted you to talk to the West. If you believe that you talk to Cephas, and he performed way better, you're a cricket man, you need to go and talk to the West Indies players, my boss, especially the batsmen. Good God Almighty. They can make a game go to day 5. That's all I am asking of them. Okay. Paul is saying switch around the wingers. Okay. That is his 11. All right. You see, Paul Edwards. So this is why it is so opinion based. But what I will say is this: there's around 15 players that no matter what team gets selected, it is that 15 players. And what we need to use this to probably conclude is that we have like 15 players. So if you look at these, you can say like a Ravel, a Demarai gets added to this, a Leon gets added to this, Tyrese Campbell, whose name has come up, Lati Bodier, Amari Bell, right, and Dexter. So you can tell, like, by the different names that there is a 23 that is clear in a lot of people's mind, right? But the original team that was up there, like I said, that was 70 names that were on a sheet that we gave to people for them to just go through and check, because there's people on the streets, and like I said, there were like 50 names. The 11 was selected, and then the ones who were not in it were because their vote was not the majority. But you could add them, like you had like you had like give me a sec, people. Yeah. Who should I add, Demo? You forget Mother Seal? Louis Baker. Keep so here's the thing with a lot of, because sometimes people again, I'll say this. All right. If you are a police officer and you and I are friends, say we grew up together, but you are a senior investigator. Out of respect for your position, I would not come and ask you about an investigation, all right, that you're involved with, or an ongoing investigation. Let me will say this. And you can call me whatever you want and speak however you want. But there's information that my position does not permit me to share with you in general. Because not everything needs to be made public. So people must understand that. And if you can't appreciate that, then you should never be on social media talking about people being professional. There is this need for information that people believe that the professional thing to do is to anything you know about players, anything you know about people, you're supposed to come out publicly and say it, because that is the professional thing to say. All right? And that is the professional. You and I have different value system. I don't believe so. There are many truths that are not supposed to be made public just because of their implication. So what I will say is, I will speak to, let me just take this call. Caller, just hold on, let me finish this point. So there are some complications from my understanding where Louis Baker is concerned. This is a player that wants to play for Jamaica, and we're hoping beyond all hopes that all these things that complicate the matter will be resolved so he can be available for September. If not for September, at the end of the campaign, because nothing is impossible. So there is a way. It must be clarified. Now, Issa Alin, you and I are two different persons. All right? If there are untruths out there, whoever put out the untruths need to come out and give clarity when they have the truth. All right? So I am not here to clarify lies that other people have believed if I don't feel I need to. People must be wise enough to do their own research and check out the character of the people who are presenting them with information to see if they should believe them or not. You have that responsibility. Balakar, welcome to the show. Good day. We have 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, good day. The starting the 11 we have up here, so me that take out let me see so right back, left back, on around there. So I take out Oldgate and put in Deshaun Bernard.
You're saying that Deshaun Bernard will not be available in September, because remember this was specific to the September window. So you're saying that he may not be fully recovered by then.
All right then. So Oldgate can stay. Me here we talk about Baker. We put in, if him available, we put in him for Bobby Reed. We have Bell, a left back. If Mason Greenwood available, Mason Greenwood would be there. So Cephas, yes. Question. Krista J. Daly did they on the 70-man thing, no time?
No. That was just a list of names that had the 60-odd man roster, and then we added some names to it. So Krista J. Daly was not on it. So people would not have been able to call his name because his name was not there.
Okay then. That put
so if Krista so you'd start Krista J. Daly in this team?
If his name was in
no man. Remember there's no official
Okay.
60 months. So you're saying
Okay.
that
So
if for September you would put Krista J Daly in the starting 11
in the 10.
in the
Yeah,
10 position, based on
yes.
just
In the
asking you
camp.
based on what?
Based on his movement, his assist, the way he pass the ball, we'd have him right there.
Has he ever
Because
played for the senior team yet in an official game?
I'm not quite sure, but you team and the last time he played, I think it was a Panam game. They are not 23, right? Something like that was the last time. But man is man, saying that to saying this. When if we are going off a farm, when the ballers them in a Europe and farm, them now call him.
Okay.
So yeah, I know he kind of show up in the Gold Cup in the forward line. No matter who them put on, the person couldn't hold up the ball, the person can create for himself. So as long as balls are fit and a fire, a balls are going to play up front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have a fit firing Bowser and a fit firing Antonio, who would you start?
Man is man, yeah, Bowser.
Okay.
The reason why Mr. Shamanic also always show up in a most of the big games in for us. And Shamanic also not catch 38 and the people of Jamaica and the diaspora for you. Whether him start, we need to have him in the squad because he's Jamaica leading goal scorer at this present moment. Everybody else gone. And man is man, we just make a last fight and cut. Me just see them do something to the ball here, just like what they do to Darren Mattox. So I just hope the coaching staff and the president them can come together with the baller and sort out this issue because me no feel say playing and the field make both are in the team.
Okay.
Me just feel say something else. So would I love for them fix that because it is not playing on the field. Because he's been out of form for his club for a long time and when he show up for Jamaica, if him not score, him assist or him a win a penalty. Sure about that.
All right. So let me ask, like, do you believe that the team should be picked on past performance or present form?
If all right, if we go say past performance and present form, if we go say present form, a lot of these players now going at the team because they pan no farm. The Bobby Reed and them no pan no farm. You understand me as a man is man. So we have to pick, we have to try mix them together. If you know what we mean. We have to mix them together. You understand? We can go far as back. Nicholas Bateman never played good for Arsenal. Or he might not get a lot of game, but when he touching country, he must score every game. You understand? Don't say they enough a perform at them club, But there is no way on earth you go have your leading goal scorer for your country and not bringing him, not even on the bench, and you know what him capable of. As when I say, me not feel say playing thing, but just feel say some personal thing, so that can work out. You understand?
Okay.
Because them say he must score a goal and in a 2 year, them are going to score 1 goal, no assist and him in the national team. So something is wrong there. So we just need to fix it with the ballers, them not all the financial money also alone. Fix it with the ballers, them, the coaching staff. We don't want nobody to carry nothing, We need the best squad to go in the World Cup qualify. Look on the group where we just come out at the World Cup. And this man, me shame around 3 days, me not come out of my yard when time we lose the first game,
Yeah.
Because the team not play as much as all them to play. And some of the time the system needs to change because
Yeah,
the runner
Balakar,
is
in the
here.
Gold Cup, they had that Jonathan Russell, wasn't it? Demarai Gray who cut the ball. He was on the left, he cut it on the right foot and chip it to the back post.
Yes, I did the same. Yes, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that. I never say him not do that.
Okay.
And me hear the caller, the last caller on the phone for a friend. What name again? Demo.
Yes.
Demo say when Cephas get the ball, you know, and pass it, and yeah, some of the time I true. So when him come inside him, I try kick and he block. So why is it when the other players do it, him not say it neither? And others that they mash up the Jamaica football.
How you and Demo having a conversation mash up the football?
No, me not say him the mash up the football. Me just say if you go for one player, it go for all of the player then. Leon Bailey do it a lot.
Okay.
Them man regret do it a lot. Talk out on them too now.
Yeah, but do you think like you and Demo or any other person talking on a matter affect the football?
Well,
you think like this conversation right now that you're talking affects the football?
No.
Okay.
But what we see, we as fans see it. But as we say, if
so
we
maybe
go
mash up, maybe what it is mashing up is the fan base.
Yeah, because the fans they say them no one that there so, and the young youth when say they start every time, me rate him, he can play, he can come off of the bench, he can also start.
Who?
But we don't need to force.
Which one of the young youth then?
A Burrell.
Burrell.
Right. The one we play in the.
Yeah. How many times?
Unity Cup.
How many times have you watched Burrell play?
I since you the cup in England I first was seen because me never hear.
Okay.
Moon no say he's a Jamaican.
Okay. Just a check.
But I think the next ball I think a mother still or what the one that he come on we get a glimpse of him in the league one thing.
And so based on that you think he should be starting for Jamaica?
No.
Me
never say him for the start, but
just
if the I couldn't say that man is man and anything about it. And Trevante Stewart. Is there a situation between Trevante Stewart and the Federation? Or is it that is not the coach playing style?
Wasn't Trevante Stewart on the 60-man roster?
Was Trevante Stewart on it?
Yeah. So too was Shamar.
Me have him in a squad.
Okay.
Me have him in a squad too. Because he might improve, he might doing things. So we have to just do it from there. But man, if he's a right back position in our liquor. Trouble. Meaning tackle wise.
Meaning tackle wise?
Yeah, like defense.
Oh, so what I mean.
Like defense.
Okay.
Go attacking, good. Defense, bad.
On the right
always
side?
A show. Yes, on the right side.
Okay.
And you see when time I eat and peanut go cross, or whoever a Damian Lowe come inside there and eat and peanut, the winger with it, the wing back now fall in, you know. You understand? And so my time they catch everybody. And with two wing back, them can't go at one time. You understand? But Bell, I rate how Bell play.
Okay.
You see me? And you know, we keep a break, no matter what.
All right, Balakal, let me see if we can take a next one before we close. Because
no
but
problem,
respect, keep on, learning the coaching thing, and you understand me?
I come out of me in your hometown around 4 weeks straight now,
Yeah?
Out of Pleasant there. I have a couple of youth from Chulani
I try
play
out.
the no man, I play the under 8 and the under 9 competition.
With Errol.
Yeah, man. We out there daytime, man.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the 17 ball of them bad. Asian them tough.
Yeah, man. But
No,
you know,
so,
we did up and about and things, so we never feel
yeah,
so well
yeah. What
too.
I
So.
coach him, they tell me, man.
All
So
right.
I'm fall back out there, they just give a show.
Definitely. We're supposed to make a move, you know. I don't know, we have to make sure we spend all of time with the family in the summer and things, so. But make we know.
True.
Yeah, man. All right then, Balak. Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. All right. Let me take this comment from Issa Allen. Big up yourself, Issa Allen. Pastor Issa Allen. He says, but management, when you have the information in a position or an office where you're accountable to the public, sir, what do you mean that I am accountable to the public? Dispelling untruths is a must for the integrity of the organization. So number one, all right, let's go through this. How am I accountable to the public? Based on me initially volunteering myself to help with the football. Remember, that is how it started. I don't want people to miss that. That's one. All right. And what untruths need to be dispelled for the integrity of the information. So if someone says, let's use Cole Palmer is coming to play for Jamaica in September. If someone says that, why do I need to dispel that? I can, but I don't have to, because a person who is receiving information has a responsibility to themselves to go and investigate the information they are receiving and the source of the information to see if it is credible. Now, where I am concerned, when people present information, as best as I can, I try to research to ensure that I can validate it. The other thing that I do is I check the person. Who is this person? And how is it possible that they would come by such information? What is their track record? I have no accountability to the public for people who, without investigating, hear things and run with it and believe it. My very kids, I say to them on a Sunday, anytime you hear me in church, whatever I say, it is important that you go to your Bible and read it. And if you have questions about it, and they are kids, you have a responsibility. Because when management puts out things, Issa Allen, you will challenge it. You will question it. What you need to do is question the people who are presenting you with information that you have found to be untrue. Who are these people? Why would you believe it? Like Obama has said in the past that he doesn't respond to certain people because what he does when he responds to them is that he's giving them his platform. There are some persons who their comments are not even worthy enough to put up. Because once you begin to do that, you're validating them. We have a responsibility. And I think too often in our excitement to get information, because that is what the world is about. There are people who are out there and they are hoping that they'd hear something terrible about you, Issa Allen, to run with it, whether it's true or not, because they already have a problem with you. There are many people out there in the world that just want to hear something that is negative about you, about management, and they run with that. There are people in the comment section today. They have called me corrupt. They have called me sellout. They say I deflect, I dodge. There are some of you who know that it's absolute garbage and hogwash. And you don't know them. But there are others who, like you don't know them, but will still run with their narrative, whether they are being trivial or not. It's a way of the world. We have a responsibility that when people... So, let me give you a very good example. There's a guy on Arsenal Fan TV. They call him Yardman. Whenever they tell Yardman about a transfer to Arsenal, here's what he says. Very easy. He says, until I see the player signing at Arsenal, until that happens, I don't follow no rumor from nobody about nobody. That's what he says. Here is, I can give you a next good example. You said that it can be a diversion. No man, I'm good. I'm just saying that, like, no man, I'm good, man. I am good enough. Me and Pastor Ali that talk, man. Me I said to Pastor Ali, like a lot of the things, don't follow them. Listen, the amount of players. I've heard people speak about specific players that are not so. I was going to talk about Jason Guna. Let me tell you this. So Jason Guna his YouTube channel is different from a lot of the other channels. So what he does, he takes stats and he speaks to them. And so what you can do is find opposing stats if you want to challenge him. So when someone says to me, for example, and they used to say Dan Burns coming to play for Jamaica and Emil Smith Rowe and all of these names and stuff, I can't just get up and say, okay, yes, because it is yes, because they have no proof. They have had no conversation and the person has not indicated. I cannot look at a Jamaican flag. Listen, the Jamaican flag is very common. The Jamaican culture is very common. And not every person who has a Jamaican flag, who know about oxtail, who know about curry chicken, who know about patty, want to represent Jamaica. In fact, there are people who are in Jamaica. Right? Who want to represent other country. You understand me? Because rumors are going to be spread. You understand me? Like something, so that's all I'm saying. So I think people have to become responsible. You understand me? Pastor Ali, now you know that too, you know. You know that. You know that. You know that you preach in your church and they are, you know the story about the sower and the seed. You know the story. What happened? 4 different types of soil. It represents, and it is a truth, that every four person receive what management is saying directly. Some person are going to say, management makes sense. Nowadays, it's going to say management be a corruption management are go on with. And next person going to say, well, Man is man don't know what I talk about in can't even read. That's it. Because let me read this again. I read it for you, right? Oh, geez. All right. Let me read it again. Where is it? You don't see life as it is. You see life as you are. We tend to see what we are looking for. We tend to hear what we are listening for. A wise person is willing to see what they don't want to see and hear what they don't want to hear. Let me say it again. You don't see life as it is. You see life as you are. We tend to see what we're looking for. We tend to hear what we are listening for. A wise person is willing to see what they don't want to see and hear what they don't want to hear. So you must learn to set up an environment where you can be corrected by the wisdom of mentors, but are protected from the wounds of critics. So that is it. People receive things based on how they are. Understand me? And some people are set in their ways. Like Pesa is set in his ways. None of we going to get Pesa to change. That's just Pesa. You understand me? You can preach all you want. You can't get nowadays to change. Even if I were to tell nowadays everything and present him with all the information and all the players that you'd want to start are starting, nowadays still going to come on and pressure me. That's just nowadays. You understand me? And it don't bother me because that's nowadays. If you did. Yeah. I'm trying to, I always said it's like this whole football thing in Jamaica we're such a small space, We're doing a presser. Sorry, not presser. Oh, presser is like presser, Presser. Big up yourself, Kishad. Presser will change. You're spending too much money. JFF media and communication system is weak. Boss, I am not responsible for media and communication at the Jamaica Football Federation. If you say it is weak, fine. I have heard people say it is very accessible because when Mr. Chung was General Secretary, almost every single vlogger could have him on their program, media, radio, everywhere. Same thing with Mr. Speed, right? Mr. Speed, every vlogger could talk to Mr. Speed. He has fallen out with some of them. All right. People have had the president on. All right. Hal Grimson used to be on the media regularly. All right. Simon, who is involved in the media, is there. All right. So, as it relates to management, my engagement with the Jamaica at this present time and how it has always been. When there is a window, I go in and I help the team. In my own estimation, in the time that I've been involved in the football, I feel like it has done a little better. Lots of disappointment, lots of improvement needed. But I feel like it has done a little better in the area that I'm in charge. Things need to improve. The communication. There's a lot. I believe the communication from the federation has improved. It needs to get a whole lot better. It needs to improve. But a lot of things that people want to hear about, some of the things that people, like the only thing people want to hear about is Mason Greenwood getting passport. Is he coming to play in September? Okay, all right. Yes, he get it. All right, Lewis Baker getting papers? No. Or Wind Down getting papers? All right, something is wrong. What is wrong? All right. Well, you see it, no corrupt. You can't tell you what wrong. You can't tell you what wrong. You see, no corrupt. A beer corruption. A conflict because they don't want him to play for Jamaica. Blah. And it can't do one different road. So if a player is dropped, the coach need to come and say, well, you know, last week, Punkas Killer Scaly was dropped out of the team. Why? Why was he dropped? Well, let me tell you something. Well, he was in training and he was cursing bad words. We told him to stop and he didn't stop. And then we had a meeting. Like, people believe that the only way what the football need is everything happen. So what happened when on a travel? Well, when we got to the airport, we were standing in line for third. It's almost like for Jamaica, we are such a small space that we believe that the only way that there is honesty is if every single thing that happens, that people must know what every person who works at the GFF get, how many taxes each person is paying. They need to know how many of the ladies who work there are married. They need to know if anybody is straight, if anybody is like, and if they don't get that, something is wrong. Something is wrong. All right, so let me get this one. Yeah. JFF hiding info is bad. I follow Ghana and Nigeria and I see them come out all the time and update. Boss, you know, follow Ghana and Nigeria. You when information, you don't follow, like people, we don't follow them. So because every single day, like most Jamaican fans are online discussing Jamaica football for 4 hours every single day for the last 2 years. That's following. When Nigeria put out something, you're not following it. You just get the info. That's not real following. What we do right here is following. All right, management. Like, for instance, the coach said something in a press conference and the public think he's right, but you and others say different and no one wants to clarify that situation. What situation? CC, the only thing I know is that CC said, the coach said the player is on standby. I said the player could not have played in the Gold Cup. What is different? The coach says on standby. Standby means in the coach's head that if certain things were to happen, the player could be called. Me not understand what is different with that. And the other person says, listen, there are some things that were necessary to happen that did not happen. So he could not have played. But somehow, Issa, you already believe, because you guys are also in many WhatsApp groups where many people tell you many things. So because you already believe all the information that you have, anything else that doesn't sound like what you already have is wrong. Because you and CC in a group. So because you guys discuss some of these things in the group that you are, you have already come to a conclusion. And you don't realize that the mind is influenced by information. Your mind is already loaded with information. So anything that sounds different from what you have previously consumed must be a lie. And because both don't seem to coincide in one place, you need clarity for it. Nothing is wrong with the two statements. The professional thing to do from the coach is not to divulge to you whatever the player is going through. You believe if the coach don't come and tell you all the details of the situation, he must be lying. That's not the case, sir. You say you're a pastor. When you do things, if you have ever done anything wrong in your life, and you say, boy, you know that, church, forgive me. You don't go in front of the church and give all the details publicly. You don't. Why? It doesn't mean that you're lying. Do you call a member when they sin and say, listen, you need to come and tell us all what you have done? Why you don't do that? Because it have implication on other things, boss. Because things may be private, but they're not personal. Come on, no, man. Nobody make me preach, no, man. I did not miss what the court said. You have listened because CC has come on this channel even today and on multiple occasions. He said he asked the coach a question. It was he who was in the press conference. And if you go back in the chat, he asked the same question. Yeah, man, Sportsmax and Loop News shutting down. So unfortunate. Yeah. That's for you, Reggae Boyz. I'm talking. All right, so people, when I speak, if it don't relate to you, I am not complicating things. I am referring to a specific situation. It is not complicated. So let me tell you, the coach said something about a player called Mothersill. Because I got a lot of information. It's a private group, but I got a lot of information from the private group and people in there about discussions that were happening in the private group. So when the question was asked of the coach, it was because in a private group, there was a group of people discussing it. Some of the information presented in that private group, and that's why I say one of the biggest detriment to the football is the amount of people involved. I'm telling you this. That sometimes the people who are involved in getting people, I am not listening to it. You bring a case, you see what you want to do, you bring a case about truths and untruths, then you're going to tell me to listen to things. Don't tell me to listen to nothing. Call in and speak and tell the people. Why do I don't need to listen to nothing. I made a reference to CC and that is what he said and that is what he asked and that is what. So in the private group that they had several discussions. And let me say it again. The people who engage, either players or clubs or whomever, I think it's a very important role in the football. And if you talk to somebody that is a high quality footballer as a Jamaican, I think it is good for you to encourage that person to represent Jamaica. I love that. I love that. But yes, when you get yourself involved in that, and then you're also going around and saying things in different places to different people, it creates confusion and unnecessary chaos. Issa Allen is on the line. Go ahead, Issa Allen. You tell the people first what the coach said and what was the question asked of the coach.
I sent you the clip. In long and short, if you want to listen to the clip, it is there. But the coach said, so these are his words. He says, a day ago, the player got his passport. Those are the coach's words. That's the words that came out of his mouth. That's what I'm saying. You probably missed what he has said, but that's exactly what he said. So that's why I sent it to you. You can listen to it. It's there. Nobody said anything to me. You notice me not come and say what somebody else said in a no group. I'm speaking specifically to what the coach said. That's why I say, I know you're busy when you're around the team. You don't have time to listen and watch all the things.
When did the coach say? When did the coach say that? When he was at the World Cup?
No, before that, before he arrived there. This was the press conference after the Unity Cup. This press conference was after the Unity Cup.
The player got. All right, so let me help you with something.
Man.
Well,
So I would really like for you to hear what the coach said.
So I'm going
because
to play
it's obvious you probably have not heard it.
So let me say something to you. The player did his application.
Man, you don't have to go in details or anything. I'm just saying, you don't have to go in any details
are you going
anything. Go ahead.
So how we're going to work is that I'm going to allow you to speak and be silent.
Okay.
If you don't want me to speak back to you, it's not a problem. I'm not offended. You can hang up.
All right.
You can also give me a chance to respond if you choose to do so. So it's up to you. So go ahead and make your point.
Yes, I'm saying, man, it would be better for you if you hear the words coming from the coach rather than to respond prior to hearing what he said. Because I'm not debating anything that nobody else said rather than what came out of the coach's mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't have the chance to listen it now, you do not have to respond now.
I am going to respond.
I have no problem with it.
I am going to respond. All right, so let me respond. Mother Seal, and I will say it again, Mother Seal came to Jamaica to do his citizenship. Your citizenship must be approved before you can get a passport. You cannot get passport before the process of citizenship is completed. If the coach, in his own words, said Mother Seal had a passport, that was not the case. What that could have meant, what the coach would have meant is that he got citizenship at that point. Now, if you have citizenship and you're not in Jamaica, it would mean that the process was for your passport, as in some of the players who have recently gotten their passport, for that to send to the UK. The other option is to come to Jamaica and get it done. When people make it appear, right, that the player had a passport in hand, it was not the case. And so I am going by what CC said. So fine, you said the court said that this is what, from the management perspective, this is what I know to be true.
Okay.
CC said, the court said the player was on standby. What I would say to that argument is that that is not a different argument.
And might I let you know that that interview that CC is talking about came after this one. It was pre the Gold Cup. This one that I'm speaking about was right after the Unity Cup, right? And the one that CC spoke about is right before the Gold Cup. You understand? So those are two separate interviews. It's not the same interview. So if the coach had said that, it obviously is a mistake, right? And I'm saying now that
when did we?
It is not your job.
No, man. So all I'm saying is that Mother Seal came to Jamaica. I'd say probably a couple of weeks before Unity Cup to begin.
He came in the semi-final of the JPL.
Mother Seal, if you want to give the specific, which was before the Unity Cup, a couple of weeks before the Unity Cup.
Right.
So we're saying this.
No, just being specific. He came while the semi-final of the JPL.
Mother Seal came to look about doing his citizenship. He did not leave Jamaica with complete citizenship documents or citizenship completed. He came, he did that, and he went back to England. He joined us for the Unity Cup, and at the Unity Cup was during the period when the citizenship process was completed. The citizenship.
Good.
Okay.
And I will say it. I know it's not your duty to come out and communicate these things, right? But I'm saying if you took it upon yourself to do that, then just be clear, because you spoke of it the last time. As you can see, I mentioned it in your comments on that video, that even though you spoke on the situation, it was still not clear because
I'm listening to what the coach said, and you were presenting something else. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So while it is not your duty to do that, I was just saying that, I mean, you probably read the comments. I'm just saying that if you do take it upon yourself to speak on the situation, don't leave it where it was. Because when you spoke, today you gave so much clarity in this instance. The previous one was still not clear. You understand what I'm saying? And so,
but that is
management, you know how the space is. You, as you mentioned, you have the group chat, you have the this, you have the that.
Let me say this. Let me say a couple of
Right.
things. Because one, so the clarity that you need is the person in the press conference who asks the question. Like I said,
Right.
remember you're talking about my accountability to the people. My position is I am an independent vlogger. I have the option of choosing what to speak on and what not to speak on. However, the coach did a press conference where you said this information. It is now incumbent on the person to, whenever they have an opportunity to engage the coach again, to ask these matters for clarity. No, I can choose to bring clarity if I want, but I don't have to.
You're repeating. You're repeating all I just said. I literally said it's not your duty to do so. But what I'm saying is, if you do speak on the situation, just make it clear. Like, you literally just clarify everything. And I'm just saying, if you had done that in the previous video, everything would be fine. You understand what I'm saying? I'm hearing something different from the coach and something different from you, which obviously we know that there can be an issue because he might not have understood what was taking place. You understand? But even in that instance where he said what he said, nobody tried. I don't know if nobody had told him that, you know, it's not actually the passport, it's citizenship or whatever. I do not know that. You understand? But if at all somebody spoke on the situation, just make it clear. It's simple. Because it's two different information that is out there.
What I'm saying,
it just leaves room for more speculation, which I do not like.
Issa Allen.
Yeah.
So why do you believe that management need to speak to what people want to hear? What reason do I have?
None. I stated that.
But that is the point I'm making.
5 times already.
Okay, so that is the point I'm making.
But I was just saying, management, if at all I even said that in the comments.
But
if at all you're going to,
I responded to CC, and I said that both things are accurate. He said the coach said he's on standby, and I'm saying that he would not have been available. Both things are the same.
Right.
All right. So this so this person is saying this is the girls them state. All right. He said that he is going to send a picture of Mother Sills. Although this is, don't send the man picture and thing, you know. Right? No man, then have on my crowd. All right, it's all. Now them man can. Right? He said that he has a picture of Mother Sills' passport that Mother Sill got in his hand before the Gold Cup, that he's going to send a passport that Mother Sill had in his hand before the Gold Cup.
I said, I don't want to go down that road.
No, well, that is what he says. I'm saying that. So, sir, send it. Send it, but don't send it. Don't put the man information there. Right?
You understand? I'm just saying, it's because, and if you had read my comments, I don't know if you did, but I commented on the video saying, if at all you cannot speak on the issue in totality, I would have preferred if you had not said anything.
No,
it just leaves room. Wait, no, my name's.
But you have
already made your as you have already made a position clear that you do not have to do that. But I am saying I would have preferred, and I hear my reason why, if you could not have said what you had said today, back then, don't say anything at all, because it just leaves room for further speculation and all type of conspiracies.
No. CC said, let me go back to it again.
Right, yes.
You had information that you're working with. You take up a conversation between myself and CC. CC said, the coach said the player. Let me finish. You see, one thing with you, you know, again, if you talk, I listen. So when I talk, you have to listen.
My apologies.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop and ask you to speak. So go ahead.
I was saying man is man. What I'm saying to you is not about you and CC per se, right? I'm saying I heard your response and I heard a clip from the coach, which is saying two separate things. You understand? Even though you're saying you were responding to CC, and I'm saying your response to CC would have been two separate things from what the coach said in this particular clip that I have right here that I sent to you.
Okay.
You understand?
I understand what you have said. My response to CC, let me say it again. CC said, the coach said, the player. He asked a question, the coach said the player is on standby. My response was, the player could not have played in the Gold Cup. So there is no difference between what the coach said and what I said. That was what my response was to CC. I am saying to you, not CC, you had this clip and you felt like that clip is actually different from what management is presenting. You felt that way.
Right.
That doesn't mean that what my response was to CC was not clarity. You felt it was not clarity because you had other information, which you presented today. So to say that what I said, when you're saying I did not say enough, of course I said enough. I said enough because I was responding to CC.
Okay. So in a sense, then my clip, you have no response to that clip because your response was in
response to CC. So I have responded to your clip today. Though I haven't listened to it, I've taken a word that is what the clip said, and I've responded to that. CC was presenting that.
Good. All right. So that's all clear. That's all clear. Yeah. So you have responded to my clip. You clarify that.
Yeah.
All things are easy.
But here's the thing. Fine. All right. So that is it. But what I'll say is that one of the biggest issues in this space is that, again, all right, let me say it again, people. The people, and I'm not beating the people who help with what they call recruiting and scouting, because this is football. But much of the confusion in this space, is the same people who oftentimes are involved in the intricate details of at least talking to players and the players' representatives, go into groups many times, and this is not in reference to you, Issa Allen, and present some of this information. So a lot of this information is in all kinds of WhatsApp groups and with the masses about paperwork and all of those things. And many times, none of that information is presented to the people involved in the team. So what happened is that when the information start getting to the team, people already have a narrative that they are running with. And my thing is, the people who are involved in these things, until they become responsible You see, a lot of the chatter in these spaces will not stop. Somebody calls somebody right now and they say, I'm doing my passport. By next week, everybody's out there saying that, yeah, man, this man having passport coming, they talk to him and thing, and blah, and this player coming. I have all of this out there. And there are cases, I will say, where when this sort of information has come out, it has affected players' decision in the past. At least one player, and delayed process. Because information that the players thought they were presenting that was private was exposed in the public, and they had reservation. Obviously, since then, they have changed their heart and they want to be a part of it. But the presenting of information like this many times in groups and to people oftentimes bring many unnecessary, confusing things. And people have to be responsible. Like when people start...
And I agree.
I've seen players' citizenship documents sent to me that have come out of WhatsApp group. In other words, if I were dishonest people, sorry person, let me tell you again, there are players from England whose citizenship application document was taken out of group and sent to me and other people in the federation. That is unprofessional, boss. And that is to prove a point that the person have started process. We can't do those things, boss. These are people legal documents. People, the last one was a message that said your passport has been completed, which is meaning that it will be sent to the United Kingdom. And somehow in communication, that was presented in a WhatsApp group, boss. That many people got it. People you need to be responsible with people legal documentation, boss. And so sometimes because people are privy to this information, they think like people are lying when they get other information. So if you are working independently to help the football, that's good enough and nothing is wrong with that. But you have to have some level of decorum and professionalism to know that a WhatsApp group with hundreds of people cannot be the place to put certain things. And I want to put it out there so it can stop, boss.
Right.
It needs to stop.
Yeah, I understand. All right, man, it was nice talking to you.
Man.
Then on the comments, sir.
All right, cool. So that is my word. The persons who are contacted, good job. You find a person, you probably reach out to them. You reach out to them and they say you want to, and you help them. That is good. You cannot then, to prove your point, present certain information. Be responsible. And I don't blame the masses because people are anxious. People want to hear. Listen, the people want to hear. The people want to hear like the big names, and so Demo is excited. So you tell Demo, Demo can't contain himself. Say, boy, no, why? That because there's an excitement and a buzz, and we sometimes have to protect people and share information on a need-to-know basis. And I'm talking to all the people who work in these delicate positions or they help in this delicate position. And the system needs to improve, but it has been working because way more players have come on board. No, when I just using, Dima just using the name, sorry. Yeah, through Mac City. Person, and I would say this goes for persons inside the federation and persons outside the federation. It goes for me. And that is why I say to the people who are on the channel, listen, I want you to respect me to the point where, because many of you said that, boy, man, is you should go and help. When I felt like I wanted to stop, you said, no, you need to stay and help. So that being the case, I would love for you, to help me there, right? That is where I want you to help me. Just kind of, yeah. So, no, man, I don't show that I did that live. Yeah. But listen, and people, let me tell you this. One thing I'll say publicly. I have not met a player, heritage player, or a player born in Jamaica. That is not. Once they come to represent Jamaica, they don't give them all. Let me tell you that. So, commitment is not an issue in this team. Let me say it again. One thing I will say publicly, and I say this of all the players, from Andre Blake to Raman Borrell, our Tyrese, our Mother Seal. Let me go to Mother Seal. From Michael Hector to Ravel Morrison. You see, Jamaica and representing the senior team mean everything to these players. They don't want to sit on the bench, so commitment is not an issue. And even when you see a player says, listen, I'm not available for this camp, give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And I know sometimes people will give Eason a hard time and some other players a hard time. Give them the benefit of the doubt, boss. I will tell you this, they are players, boss, that if you ask them to buy them own ticket and pay them own hotel and buy them own food and stuff, they will do that to represent Jamaica. They will do that to represent Jamaica. Players are like babies, and stuff, But when it comes on to commitment, if you go from Kyle Ming to Malik Mazasil, but obviously, as a human, sometimes you're going through things in your life, and a camp may be called up and you're just not at a good place. And for the sake of the team, you just take a break because you're a human. You have kids, you're married, you have financial obligation. And just like you and I, sometimes we take vacation from work. We take sick days when we're not physically sick, but we're just mentally fatigued and tired. Players go through those things as well. So sometimes a man may see a man run on them like they think they're not running hard enough. Don't understand, boss. Yeah. No, man, Mills, the fun. That's what I'm saying, that, one thing with the fans, the fun. Like, I am a fan too, I want to hear. Listen, I want to hear that. Let somebody, like, I want to hear that Cameron Archer and Ellis Sims, and I want to hear that, what's his name again? Oh, geez, how could I forget his name? Reese Nelson. I want to hear that all of those people come in and can play for Jamaica and all of those things. I want to hear and know that that is my thing. And I get excited about those things. But I also know that there's a reality. You understand me? And some of us are wise enough to know that we have to protect the fans from themselves, you know, because football fans are mad sometimes, you know. When a football team loses a game, you know, them I mean, like, them say all kind of things. The fans today will tell you that Andre Blake should never be in Jamaica goal, and tomorrow the said fans will run and lift him up. What I don't that's like cutoff point. I don't think there is a cutoff point where the coach is concerned. One thing with this coach, he will always want the best players. So I don't think he has a cutoff point. I know some Jamaicans would say, well, if them never want to come before the World Cup, then they must come for the World Cup. I don't know. If you have a quality player that can come in and bring you further in the World Cup, then you have to do that. That's my opinion. I think if I have 3 players who, if they come in, they can bring us to the semifinals and finals of the World Cup. Why would I not take them? I would. But I'm not the coach. Anyways, people, it's 3 hours, you know. What a good show. Nowadays, big up yourself. Mark, big up them Monday, you know, because them do the most cussing. Peso, big up yourself. Yeah. But and listen, so like I said, the player came in May, and it takes a couple of weeks to get the citizenship thing done, right? So that could be it. But I know that he came to Jamaica in May before we went to the Unity Cup to do the citizenship. And the citizenship, once all the documents, and he came to Jamaica, it meant that that's max like 2 weeks. So if you go back to, like Issa said, the JPL, you can probably track what time the citizenship was done, and if he had done the passport application and the passport was there, because there are a couple of things they do. One, there's a different couple of ways. It's always easier for the person to come to Jamaica and do the passport and get it like the following day, like do it that way. It's easier to do it that way. Because when you do it for it to get to the UK, you have to wait until it reaches to the consulate in the United Kingdom, which takes some time to be mailed and all of that. Yeah? So there's different ways that the process can be handled. Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. I want to know, I hope all of these fans were going up in the arms about things, you know, turn up to watch a game, because that is the thing. Some of the people that who cost the most don't watch the game. But people, listen, love and respect, you know, love and love alone. You understand me? To every single one of you. Appreciate being back with you for a show. Yeah. I am going to go out into the street. Tell me a good survey that I need to go out and do in the street with the people at Jamaica, and I'll put the paperwork together, go out there, and then come back and give you the results. But big up on yourself. Yeah. Have a blessed day, you know. And as usual, every other vlogger out there, you can give them subscribe to them channel, support the Jamaican vloggers. You may not want to listen to everything every time, but let us support Jamaica and build Jamaica. You understand me? Other content creators out there. Hey, just don't let me tell the people that want to be at the airport, you know. Yeah, good thing when they do at the airport, I call, you know. But friend them in high places, you know, me hear your name, you know, boss. Yeah, man. So, and then there is, I met Jason Guna daughter, and I met his father before, but his father don't remember me at the stadium, and they took picture on the field one day. I don't know if Jason Guna will ever represent Jamaica still. Yeah, you understand me. Yeah, so big up Jason Gona. You know, Kerry always Kerry like I'm a parent P when we depart trip, you know. But you know, we meet some good people. Yeah, but when you want to step in at the airport, and the only man name that at the airport ring out from our land, the national team at the airport. And the man name alone right across the intercom. The whole police force come out, you know. Yeah, man. Bro, hey, Jason, I need to know who you really are for real, you know. Look what this, you know. This is not true, boss. You must have from Shaban. If I wait for a passport, that is. So why anyone make sure that you come to Jamaica? Boss, your father go up by Pika. Him get it right away. Him get it right away. If you had gone up by Pika. But Jason can help you, Jason. Although, you know, we can help you still, but Jason can help you. All right. Yeah. But bless up, everyone. Have a great day. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports. Big up Brain Drain. Good to see you, my friend. He's convinced that Brianna Liston is going to run for the USA. Boss, I don't know if there's anybody like your father. You know? Your father a pioneer in the cricket world. You know? I don't know. You understand me? Your father probably retired when I'm done with sports and all just easy. I live off of your millions. Ain't just go now. Yeah, but people, bless up. Have a good day. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports. As usual, when you get to this point, we say we are over. And we are OUT out of here.
Yo, watch about dog. SK New heard this. The body out there. Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho-Rios, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from young, from where they knee height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.